Hi, it's Liz from the Barefoot Hypno. I wanted to talk today about your partner, if you do have a partner, and I'm not assuming you do, but if you do have a partner, it is so shocking how your relationship completely changes. And actually, it's so obvious now for me, when I think about it, it's so obvious, but at the time it really isn't. You've got your relationship with someone, and then you're going to have a baby, and it's all very exciting, and you're in your tummy, and your partner's been really supportive and sort of talking to the belly and whatever. But actually, when that baby's born, the way the mother focus just goes completely into the baby and trying to learn the baby and meet its needs. And also, you are the one, if you're breastfeeding, you are the one who meets the needs. And the partner can go into quite a sort of helpless place in terms of they're not the one either the baby is seeking, because the baby's seeking who can feed it, or who can meet its needs because he can't feed it. And most people are a bit loath to let the baby introduce it to, say, formula. Or I remember using a bit of nanny goat's milk, because goat's milk is more similar to human milk than cow's milk is. So I was using nanny goat's milk, worked well for me. But a lot of people don't want to do that because they're really worried that if the baby starts taking formula milk, it will then start rejecting breast milk. Personally, in my experience, I haven't had that happen. I let my partner do a few feeds, and I wanted a break. I remember my boobs getting really, really sore at one point, and I just needed a break to get them mending. So I did do a few formula feeds in between, and I don't think it was ever a problem. I don't think it made any difference. She took breast milk, it didn't turn her off it. Her tummy was fine. It actually just gave me a break, which is exactly what I needed. And looking back, actually, I wish I'd done a little bit more, like got a bit more sleep at night and let my partner feed the baby. So, the thing is what role do you give your partner? And yes, your relationship really changes. And I think just recognising it and talking about it's so important. Just that feeling of feeling a bit helpless, or even, I remember my partner, and I think quite a few people feel like this, they just feel a bit cut out of the experience, because really the bonding is going on really between the mum and the baby for obvious reasons in terms of food. And I think the partner can suddenly feel quite left out of that journey, and the bonding with the partner does come later, and actually it can be quite a lot later. I certainly feel with my children, the bonding with their dad was really after 4 or 5 years old, like the real bonding where they got a real relationship. And I think it's okay. This is all okay. It's to be navigated. It's to be talked about. And it's okay to just admit it, to admit what your feelings are. And yeah, just to have it in the open, and it to be okay is really important. The other thing that we did as a pair, which is very unusual compared to a lot of my friends who are very 50-50 in their parenting, is we took a decision that I would be very much focused on the children, and he would facilitate that. It was quite an interesting thing, because he took over the cooking, and he took over the washing, and he took over the house in a way just to free me up to be more focused on the baby. And his view was, well, really, I'm insignificant in this relationship right now. I'm talking in the really early weeks and months. So what I can do is just facilitate and help. And that was hugely important. It really was. It just gave me the space to really learn my baby. And the other decision we took is not to both be knackered. And that was a massive thing that very few people around us I saw do. And that meant that every night one of us got a good night's sleep. And certainly when he went back to work, that was really important to me. It's just like, this is now my job. I can catch up on my sleep in the day, but you're going to work. You can't sort of nip off for a sleep. So I really made sure that he did get his sleep, and I didn't resent him for that. I think there's this thing, if you're absolutely knackered, you can resent someone else for having had a good night's sleep. But honestly, it is pointless to both be knackered. It's definitely something to decide. And then, as I say, I think everyone should just give themselves a break. with either some expressed milk, your own breast milk, or some formula. And I do recommend goat's milk rather than cow milk. And everyone should let their partner do 1 or 2 night feeds, and just on those nights you go and get a proper 8-9 hours sleep. I just think it does you the world of good, and I don't think it does anyone any harm. Of course, if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't, but I think that's giving yourself a break, not being perfect, not doing it absolutely perfectly, really it's quite good for your mental health, just to ease up a bit and not take it too seriously and not have too much of a hard time. Think about how you can make it easier on yourself. And as I say, like, really open communication with your partner, and decisions about your roles, because the roles change and the needs change. There's loads of washing, there's, as I say, these broken nights, there's different health visiting or pharmacy, whatever goes on, all this new stuff that goes on, and just deciding what your role is, what their role is, how they can support, or whatever it is, just deciding that, and then constantly maybe having like a weekly meeting. Maybe you have every Saturday morning a meeting in which you just discuss, how's it going for you? Are you happy with how it's going? You just discuss it, and you just update every week, because everything keeps changing, literally daily, weekly, it's changing. So you never can kind of just get comfortable with how it is, because it just changes. So maybe a weekly meeting, just to make sure you're both happy, it's working. This kind of stuff can just make such a difference.